Hi there, this is Art and Such with my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Sailor Jupiter for my Sailor Moon set. And she is the last character from that set I'm planning to do for the time being. For this pattern, you're going to need 5 pink bands, dark green, white, skin tone, and caramel or another brown. You could also use, if you've got a red or a maroon you'd like, I'm sure that would be okay. For the eyes, you can use white pony beads or white beads and draw on pupils with a Sharpie. I'm going to be using a couple of green pony beads. You can also use bands, and you can also cut out and glue on eyes that look like Sailor Moon eyes. We're going to start, and this figure is going to be made similar to the other Sailor Moon characters, the main difference again being with the hair. So if you've done a few, this should look familiar. Take a single green band, wrap it on your hook 1, 2, 3 times. Take another single green band, stretch, twist, bring it back onto itself, put it on the end of the hook, and push your wrapped band over. Replace. We're going to do 2 more doubled over singles. So here's 1 and 2. You can push this down a little bit and take another single green, wrap up 1, 2, 3 times, pull that onto a doubled over single green band. Take 2 green bands, put them at the end of your hook together, keep a little tension on them, and we're going to pull the wrapped pieces over. Other side of the doubles go back onto the hook, and then we switch to green, and we're going to do 12 sets of double skin tone bands. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Take a pair of green bands, and we're going to add that to the chain. Alright, second leg, same deal. Single green, wrap 1, 2, 3 times. Pull onto 3 doubled over singles. So here's the first one, second one, and the third one. Push it down a little, and we're going to do another green, wrap it 1, 2, 3 times, and pull onto a doubled over single green. Transfer both parts of the shoe here onto 2 green bands. And then we're going to do another 12 pairs of skin tone. So it's 8, and 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then onto a pair of greens. We're going to do the arms next. If you feel your hook's getting crowded, you can move your bands onto another hook. Otherwise, just shove them down, and we're going to start with some white. take two bands together, put them on the end of the hook, wrap once and twice. You can do an extra wrap if your bands are a little stretched out or loose. Take a single white, stretch, twist, double it over, put it on the end and pull through. We are going to have a total of 5 doubled over single white. So that was a total of 6. So that was the first. This is the second. 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Take a green, stretch it out, double it over, add that on, and we're doing 4 skin tone bands, doubled over single skin tone. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to come back and do 1 more white. And that's our first arm. It does curl a little bit. We're going to make 1 more in the same way. Excuse me. Take 2 white bands, put them on the end of your hook, wrap 1, 2, or 3 times, and pull onto 6 doubled over single white bands. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1 doubled over single green band, 4 doubled over single skin tone bands. 1, 2. See if I've got any more that are already a little stretchy. 3 and 4. And onto a doubled over single white, and then we can go to the loom. And as with our other characters, we are going to make most of our stuff on the loom, and then we'll be adding a couple of parts after the fact, or doing them on the hook separately. You'll see what I mean. We're going to start with 2 skin tone bands, put them on the top center peg, and pull them down to the second peg down in the middle. 2 bands from the second peg in the middle to the third peg in the middle. And we want 2 bands to come from the second center to the second right. And 2 bands from the second center to the second left. From here we switch to white and we come down 4 times with double white bands on each of the rows. Now over to green for the skirt. We want 3 sets of double green bands on each row. So here we go. Here's 2 bands there, 2 bands there, 2 bands here. And repeat on each of the others. For holding bands, we're going to start at the top, take a white band, bring it across the third pegs down on each row. It's going to make a little triangle, and make another triangle holding band below with another single white. For your next 2, I would suggest doubling over a single white band, although on the 6th peg down. You can use green if you want, because that's on the outside as well. I think I'm going to use green this time. For the rest, we're going to do single green bands, and we've got 3 more. So stretch it across, don't double it over. It's 1, 2, and 3. Come back to your hook, and you're going to take your arm, get it to check that it's curling the way you want it to, and transfer onto the 2nd peg down on one side. So you want it to curl in towards the body. This one is also curling the right way, so we're just going to transfer it down. If you find it sort of sitting this way, you can put your hook through or another one through from the opposite direction and then transfer. This goes to the 2nd peg down on the far side. Now for the legs, we're going to put them on the loom. I just want to point out to you, right now they are facing the same direction. If you would prefer to have the legs facing in different directions or both facing inwards, you can put your hook through from the opposite way, like pull it off and then put it on from the opposite direction, and then they'll be both facing out. But I think it looks good either way myself. Take 2 green bands, slide it through the legs, and put this onto your 9th pegs down on either side. This is, you don't have to count it really, I'm just telling you in case you want to double check it, but it's where your green bands ended. Okay, what next? Let's do our extension for the skirt. Take a single green, wrap 1, 2, 3 times, and pull onto 4 sets of double green bands. Take the bands that are on your hook now, put them onto your 6th peg down where your green band started on that side. And we want to find the cap band and then go through the set of the changes below. So that cap band, that wrapped band, is just going to be sitting sort of above the hook. You're going to put this part onto the 9th peg down where the legs are. Grab a piece out of the inside of either chain above and pull onto the pegs that are on the side along the skirt there. Let's make one for the other side. Single wrap 1, 2, 3 times, pulled onto 4 sets of double green bands. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Flip your loom around, pop it on. And grab a piece out of each of those chains to pull over the pegs that are in between. Now we can loop up. I'm going to start in the middle and go until I reach the skin tone on that center row. So reach for the bands between the legs and bring them up over the next peg. Push back, get your next 2, and loom forward. And we're going to keep going straight up. The reason that I like to start with the middle in cases like this is because it's usually the easiest part to loom. You don't have the holding bands blocking the peg, the inside of the peg so much, and this way we get one part of it looped up really quickly and secured, which is always a good thing. We're going to go for this bottom set of bands on the outside, so if you need to, you can tug it to the side with your hook or your finger. When you're ready, grab the bottom 2 and bring them forward onto the next peg. Push back, take only the bottom 2. Push back, take the bottom 2, and we'll go straight up to that 2nd peg from the top. reach inside for the bottom 2 skin tone and bring those to the second center peg. Go to the bottom on the far side, and we're going to loop up the same way. So you might find that you need to turn your loom to the side, or to, again, pull those bands out a little bit. It can be hard to see when you have many of the same color. Always that bottom one is the hardest because it's under the most bands there. Push back, loom forward. We're gonna keep going till we reach that arm again. Sounds a little like Armageddon, but arm again. There we go. Okay, reach through the arm piece, get the bottom 2 skin tone, bring them to the center, and then go to that 3rd peg down in the middle and loop up once and loop up twice. And before you take this off, I'll get you to put 2 green bands on your hook and wrap once, and then carefully remove some of the body, but hold on to those top center bands. We don't want to loose those off just yet. If you see any loose bands as you're pulling this off, try and grab them and secure them now, or you might even find them higher up where it's easy to reloom that part. But it's, oh, stretchy leg. It's a good idea to catch them before everything's off, because then you can weave it in or put it on a C-clip or something and save your project. When most of the bands are loose here, you can put your hook through the bands on the top center peg, pull them off, and now we take those green bands and push them over the skin tone and over the end of the hook, and we have a nice little green choker. So you can decide if there's one side you want for the front or the back. I think I want this for my front, and you want to make sure your hook is pointing down through that. Okay, now it's time for us to go to the loom. We're going to do the face and the head, and then we'll be adding on some hair and some of the extra features for the face. Take 2 bands from the top center to the top right, 2 from the top center to the top left, and what I'm going to do here is put 7 bands from the top side to the second side pegs. Now this is optional, you can leave it at 2, you can only have 5, whatever you'd like to do, but this way we get a nice thickness around the top. So the opposite side, I'm going to put 7 down, coming from that first peg to the second peg. And then 1 set of double bands on either side, from the second to third, and in the middle 2 sets of double caramel bands. We're back to skin tone again. We're coming down 3 times in the middle row, with the double bands. That's 1, 2, and 3, and 2 times on either side using double skin tone bands. Take 2 skin tone and come from your 5th side to your 6th center. Same thing from the left side into the middle. Take a single hair colored band and stretch it across your second pegs down. Make a triangle there. And we're going to take a single skin tone, stretch it across the next 3. Skip over 1, and then we're going to take a single skin tone, double it over, and put that across your 5th pegs down. Now for the remaining holding band, we will need some eyes. So take the eyes that you have chosen to use, and you can put them on a hook or thread them on by string and get them onto a single skin tone band. If you're still not too sure about how to do this, all my other Sailor Moon tutorials, I demonstrate with the bands and give you a couple other options you can look at. This is going to go across from the 4th peg down on one side to the 4th peg down on the opposite side. With your hook, get between the beads or bands and pull one side of that band over the center 4th. Okay, let's put our body on and then we'll do our hair. Take the bands on the hook, transfer them onto the 6th peg down in the center. Now for the hair chains, we are taking single, wrapping it 1, 2, 3 times, and pulling it on to 12 sets of double hair colored bands. Now if there's another way you'd prefer to do this, you're certainly welcome to, and you can play around with the lengths as well. So for me, I'm going to make 3 chains with 12 sets in each. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 2 more. And then I'm going to leave this on the hook and make my next 2 sets. Single wrap, 1, 2, 3, hold on to 12 sets of double bands. This is 9 and 10, 11, and 12, and last time single wrapped 1, 2, 3, hold on to those 12 sets of double bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, almost done here, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Take a single band, hair color, stretch, twist, double it over, pull all 3 of the hair pieces on top. Put the other side back on your hook, and we're going to put this onto the top center peg on your loom. Okay, we're ready to, oh, one more thing before we loop up. Now this is optional, but if you want the curl at the side, what we do, glad I remembered that, take a single, give it a good stretch, a really good stretch. Go to the bands that are coming from the 2nd to 3rd pegs on the side that you'd like the curl on. Put your hook under, pull that band through, put the other side of it on, pull the far side over the close side and over the end of the hook, and you're going to get a nice slip knot. Pull it really tight. I'm going to probably save this band after, but you'll want to pull it really tight, stretch it out good, and bring it down a little. And you can also, if you choose to, cut that band later. But this will give you that nice curl on the side. Now we can loop up, move the body out of the way, and reach underneath for the top 2 bands on that second peg down, and they're going to go up to the left. The next two are going up to the right. I think that's correct. That looks funny. Maybe we laid them out the opposite way this time. Let me have a look here. That's a problem. I let my bands get a little too overlapped. Well, this does seem to be the top ones. Yep, it was left, right. Left was correct. Right a second. I see what's going on here. Grabbed one of the bottom pieces by accident. This one. Sorry about that. Just give me a second, I'll get this sorted out. Here I was thinking how smoothly this video is going. Okay, so over to the right. You can tell it's good if everything looks clean and your other sections are staying in row until you're in line until you're ready to loop them up. Last three to the middle. So when you're done, you want these nice clean lines. Loop up the center. You could really loop up in any order right now, but I'm just going to go with the center first. Right to the top, and on the left side, push back, grab your bottom two, loop forward, push back the band with the eyes, get your bottom two, loop forward, and continue to the top. Now at this last one, you've got, remember, a lot of bands to loop if you have used all 7. So just watch that you get them all and be careful to push them down when you get them onto that peg. And bottom two from in there, this is going to be a little tight. You're going to bring those to the top center, and then we've got one more row to loop here before we take this off. So going to the 5th peg down on the far side and just loop straight to the top, making sure to grab all of your bands on that last one. You can take a couple at a time if you're finding it's too much to do all at once, of course. Bottom two into the middle. Take a single hair colored band, or 2 if you want. Get it ready in your left hand, and with your right hand push your hook through the bands on the top center peg. This is easier to do when the open part of the hook points away from you. Grab that band, slide it up through to the top, put the other side on, and create a slip knot by pulling the far one over the other side. I'm going to hold on to this, or you can put it on a hook or C-clip, and let's take this off the loom. Okay, find your front side and push your eyes through. Draw on pupils if you need to. You can put your hair piece onto a C-clip, or another thing you can do is stretch it, bring it over the hair pieces, and wrap it a couple of times. We're going to take 2 green bands, stretch them out a little bit, put it over the hair pieces, right to the bottom, and you can see it's really loose, so what we'll need to do is stretch, twist, and bring it through again, and you'll probably want to do that even a 3rd time. Okay, so you can stretch out that side piece and cut it off if you want to. I'm just going to take it out for now. And then we're going to do our collar, our bow, our skirt, and I'll show you how to connect the arms and make the hair. Okay, get some C-clips handy. We are going to take 3 green bands, and I'm going to show you this with 2 hooks. Put your hook through from the back to the front, just under the V of the skin tone. Pull those 3 green bands through to the back. And I'm going to put a hook through the ones on the front as well to hold it in place. Okay, front and back. Take a green band, or a band of another color if you'd like. I'm actually, you know what, this time I'll show you with another color because maybe it'll make this even easier for you to see. So take a band, a single band, it's at the back so you can choose. Put it on the end of your hook and slide it through those 3 green. You're going to put those blue, that single band onto a C-clip. See, I think it looks nicer when when you use the colors from the character, as I did here, but this might give you an easier time seeing it. Now go back to the front and bring those 3 bands over the shoulder, turn it around, take one of your single bands off the hook, off the C-clip, and put it on the hook. So this is the back we're looking at. We're going to pull that single through those other 3 and then replace that single band onto the hook. And we'll do the same for the opposite side. Put your hook through in the same place, as close as you can get. Take 3 greens. Pull them through. And once more, I'm going to put a hook through the front ones. You can use a C-clip as well if you wanted to. Now this is the back again. I'm going to take one side of my single band off the C-clip, pull it through those 3, and replace it on the C-clip. Go back to the front, take the 3 that are on the hook at the front side, pull it over the shoulder, turn it around, take one piece of your single off of the C-clip again, slide it through, and replace on the C-clip. And if you're having a hard time and you want to use additional C-clips, you can always do that as well. Okay, next is the bow. You're going to get a single green, wrap it nice and tight, 1, 2, 3, 4 times on the hook. Try for 4 if you can. If it's too hard, you can wrap it 1 time less or use 1 fewer pink band. I'm going to use 5. You might also have another style of bow that you'd like to use, and that's fine too. Put your 5 on the end of your hook and slide the green over. Okay, so you want to get it kind of to the center, and then we're going to take 2 pieces of pink, and I try to get them either from the top or the bottom because then they're more likely to line up and come from the same band here. And we want to put this through. So hook through under your V, under the green. Grab the pieces of the pink that you're holding and pull them to the back and put them on a C-clip. I'm just going to use the one that I've got here already. Can give that a little adjustment, even it out. For the top of the skirt, which is optional, we're going to do the same thing we did at the collar. Take 3 white, put your hook through kind of in the center of the bottom set of whites, or you can go a little lower if you want to, or a little higher. Pull your 3 whites through, pull a single band through those, put it on a C-clip, so this is what we've got so far. It's the 3 bands and they're sitting on a single band at the back. Go to the front and I'm just going to switch hooks here. Take those 3 bands, try to keep them from twisting too much, which is what I'm doing here. Bring them towards the back, turn it around, take a single off of that a side of the single off of the C-clip. You'll see it's not going to go anywhere, it's there, it's secure. Pull under those 3, which I cannot do from this angle. Hang on. I'm trying to do this in a way that you can see it and I can still do it deftly here. Okay, other one, go through again, same spot, take your next 3, slide them through, take a piece off of the C-clip, slide that through the 3 that came from the front, put it back on the C-clip. And then we're going through the ones on the front. You may have put that hook in there again. And bring it to the opposite side. And this is the front we're looking at again. Turn it around, grab a piece off of that C-clip, slide it under those 3, and replace on the C-clip. Alright, so just 2 more things to do. Let me show you what to do for the hair. You're going to pick the side you want it to go on, kind of line the pieces up, turn to the back, and you can see because the eyes show through on the other side, you can kind of do it just as well. And on the back side, you can go weave it in or weave it out. I'm going to weave it out this time. So I'll go under a piece of the face, a piece of the nearest hair chain where I want it to sit, pull that under. Take another piece out of that hair chain, pull it under. Again, I feel like I'm doing this backwards for the camera here. Hold on. If you do find it slipping for you, and you might want to use a hook with a larger hole, or you might want to put C-clips on sections you've already done. I'm going to go through the next link once I've lined it up, pull my current piece over, take another piece, pull the inner one over, then we're going to line up that last set of hair, put the hook through, grab a piece, pull it under the one that's already on the hook, and when you're satisfied you can put it on a C-clip. Now you might want to even secure it again down here. You can make it go closer to the body, you can leave some of it loose. It's really your choice. Last thing I'm going to show you is, oh, this is the back. I so did that on the front, didn't I? Alright, easy to fix. Turn this around again. Wonder if you caught that while I was doing it. Let's do a 30-second repair here. It's easier to do from this direction anyway. Okay, and last section. Onto that C-clip again. Alright, so when we turn back to the front, I'm just going to show you. This is what we've got, and if you want your hands to sit closer to the body, what you do is line it up, and just like the hair, we're going to go to the back, take a piece from the skirt or the shirt, go underneath, take a piece of the hand. If you've got a loose one, that's even better, a better one to grab, and pull the green over the white, and you can kind of weave it in to an existing C-clip, or you can put it on a new C-clip. You can do the same for the other side. So there you go. I'll lay her out for you to see here. And this is Sailor Jupiter, and the rest of the set is up. So I hope you'll check them out, and thank you for watching.